I'm going to show you how to make a needle felted ball or a bauble. If you'd like to put a little hanger on it, you can make it into a bauble. You could do it as an egg shape if you wanted to, if you preferred, or you could do just a simple heart shape. We'll do a circle, a ball for the video, and that you can choose. So you want to start with your core wool, so that's the creamy coloured wool that was in your kit, and take a piece and basically just roll it up, turn it in on itself, fold it in, roll it up, try and get sort of a little tight ball. And then I'm just going to stab that for a second. Your finger protectors that you've got in your pack will be useful for this point. Got a slightly fatter one for the thumb, thinner one for the finger. And then basically, you get hold of your wool. You're going to use the green needle for the start, for the core wool, and just stab. Keep stabbing, stab, stab. You keep your needle vertical most of the time. If you're going from the side, just make sure that your needle is still straight. You don't want to twist or bend it because they could snap. The other thing that you will need is a piece of foam. Doesn't have to be a big piece like we've got here. Something like a kitchen sponge would work quite well. It could be a bathroom sponge. I've got a pin cushion here that would work quite well as a bit of cushioning. It's really just something in this initial stage to cushion the needle, really, so that if you happen to go through the wool, you're going into a soft surface rather than a hard table, because your needles will snap. They're very, very delicate. You could probably get away with maybe a folded up towel if you hadn't got any foam, but it is really just for this stage. And this also is when the finger protectors are really useful, because this is the bit where you're kind of closest to your fingers. And all I'm doing is keeping stabbing, keep turning it. And the trick with this is to keep your piece of wool moving. It'll give you a much rounder ball shape. If you stab in one place for too long, you end up with a sort of a flat spot, and you'll end up with a funny shape. So just keep going, keep moving it, keep turning it, roll it round. Just stab away and it will start to felt and get firmer. Now, obviously, I don't want to be doing this for too long, but you will take longer to do this. I'm going to kind of skip through it a little bit. So once your ball starting to firm up a little bit and you've got sort of a nice roundish sort of shape. Now probably I would go on a little bit longer than that, to be honest, but I'm going to skip through it a bit. You want to then take some more of your core wool and just wrap it round. So you literally just wrap it around the ball and then stab it again. Again, keep stabbing it, get your loose bits in. Just really keep going, keep moving it. So that's how you're going to get your initial ball shape. As I say, I'm going a bit quick here because I don't want to make this too lengthy. But keep going, keep going, keep going. You might add another layer because obviously the more that you stab this, the smaller it will become. You want it to be firm, but you still want a bit of give in it at the end. So in best Blue Peter style, I've got one here that I've already done. So it's fairly firm, but it's still got a little bit of give in it. So that's your kind of basic core ball started. Now, if you want to put a hanger, this is the time to do it. So all you need is some cotton, maybe embroidery thread. You could use invisible thread. You could use ribbon, but you'll need a bigger needle and that's a little bit tricky to get through, but I have used ribbon. What you need to do first, before I skip ahead, is you need to make a little indent in one side of the ball. So all you're doing is just a little indent in there. I've started it off, so this is where your knot is going to sit, so it'll be hidden. So you just do that. It doesn't really matter how deep you go. You've got that. Then take your thread up through the ball and out at the other side. Now, if you're using ribbon or a thicker thread, it will probably be a little bit difficult to get through. What I have tended to do before is use some pliers and then give it a turn, and it will come through quite well, relatively easily, depending on the thickness of your thread. And then pull it through. Don't pull it all the way through, because obviously you want to knot it at the bottom. Go back in fairly close to where it came out, and you want it to come back out at the other end, again close to your piece of thread. Again, you don't want to pull it all the way through. I just sometimes put my finger through just to stop it. Pull it through like that. Got my finger there to stop it going all the way through. Pull it back a little bit. Like that, and then knot it. Double knot. And then snip it off with scissors. Snip off the ends, and then you can pull it through a little way, but you don't have to. Pull it up a little bit. Then get yourself a little bit more core wool, a little kind of almost like a little button. Put that over the top there. Now watch your thumbs here, and then stab that into place. So basically you're covering up the knot, and that will make it secure as well. Just be careful if you're using a thickish cord, when your needle goes in, you're probably going to hit it, so just be careful with that. Again, I'd probably do this for a little bit longer, cover it all up. Might need a little bit more over there, depending on how big a kind of little dip you've made. But that's effectively it, and then you've got your little hanger there, so that's all ready to cover. So you then want your blue. It's quite long fibres, so pull a bit off and then just kind of pull it apart, muddle it up a bit, scuff it up. It's starting the felting process really. You're just kind of getting rid of those long fibres, just making it a little bit more short, a bit easier to felt. Push it back together, put it onto the surface of your ball, and then this time using your gold topped needle. This is slightly finer and will leave less holes in the finished felting. And just stab away again, just like you did before with the ball. And again, it would take longer than I'm taking here. I'm doing it a little bit quicker just to make the video a bit shorter. And you keep going, and then keep covering it. So get some more. Again, just scrunch it up a little bit. Pop it over the top again to your next spot. If you want to keep wearing the finger protectors, you can do. It's not too bad with this because you can be a little bit further away from your finger and thumb, but do wear them if you feel better with them on. That's it. So as I say, you will keep going with that. To make it a bit shorter now, I'm just going to go to there. But one that I did earlier is that one. So that's all nicely covered, fairly even. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit patchy. We're going to put decorations over the top anyway, and it's part of the charm of the whole thing.